All right, everybody, welcome to the 70213 Lakers podcast, Vegas covering LA. I'm your host, Kyle Randolph, here with my bro, Isaiah Torres, one of the most, if not the most loyal Laker fan I know. How are you feeling, man? Up 2-1. Ignore last game. Try to. I know that stung. But how are you feeling?
It was 2-1. 2-1. I mean, I don't mind it. Originally, I had this game. I had the series going 6 games, and then the injuries to Bam and Dragic made me think maybe 5 games. I said this before. I want the Lakers to win, obviously, right? But I want them to. They're gonna win. They got to earn it, right? Like, we don't want it to come easy because then that gives people that excuse where they had an easy road to the finals. Like, we want it hard, man. Like, there's no way to put it. You gotta deserve the title. Like, I don't mind the loss at all. I really don't. Foul trouble. It wasn't their day, and man, you got to lose in order to know what it feels like to win. That win will get them back. Yeah, I think I'm still confident in them. It's okay. Just shake it off, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's only so much you could do. I mean, you guys didn't even really play a bad game. Like 33% from three isn't good, but the Heat only shot 35.
It was the 20 turnovers really what cost the game.
That was bad. That was the bad play. It was like when Jimmy Butler's doing that, and I saw it wasn't even because your defense was bad. They contested so many shots. He just drove into the paint. His mid-range was going in on fadeaways in people's faces. There's just nothing you could do at that point. It's like when Jamal Murray goes off this playoffs, other than the Clippers, they didn't know they forgot how to play basketball towards the end. But aside from that, their defense was still good. It's just like there's nothing they could really do. I mean, there was, but you know what I mean? Like when a player goes off like that, there's only so much you could do.
Yeah, man, Jimmy Butler was a beast. What he did, he knew what he needed to do to get the win. Drive to the hoop hard, get fouled, get free throws, make the shots. He was doing what the Lakers needed to do. I felt like they were getting trigger happy with the 3-pointer, and they were missing a lot of it. And for every time they missed the shot, Butler would go to the hoop and get some more points. So you got to learn from it, man. You got to learn from it.
It's true.
Miami played less zone in Game 3 as well. So whenever they make that adjustment, the Lakers need to make the adjustment for what offense will work from when they go to zone to man. And yeah, man, just do a better job of defending Jimmy, I guess.
I'm confident the Lakers make the proper defensive adjustments. Well, what's your take on that?
Yeah, Adele. I mean, from the jump, Frank Vogel has said he's been defensive minded. This whole season. I mean, they did a good job of slowing down Jamal Murray, who was doing crazy things, right? Before the Lakers
lost game 1.
No,
you did. You guys lost game 2, right?
I think they lost game 3. Lost game 3. Almost lost game 2, but Anthony Davis hit the buzzer beater.
That was So it's like proven they can adjust.
They could. I mean, so they already did an amazing job. Last week when we talked about it, they did a good job of what did we say? We said Dwight Howard was going to slow down Bam. Well, Bam made it easier. He barreled into a rock named Dwight Howard and injured himself. So that took care of that. And before in the previous series, Tyler Herro scoring 30 points. people were like, "Oh, how are you gonna stop him? He's on fire." And I was like, "Bro, we have Danny Green and Kentavious Cole-Pope. We have good defensive players for a reason." And Tyler Hero's only having like he's in the teens. Like he's not touching 30 points. And yesterday, like in the game 3, he he had a meme where he did a mean mug look and he made some shots in the fourth quarter, but his shooting was still awful. I mean, if you look at the numbers, he really didn't do
He hasn't
that.
done so well this series, actually.
No, and that's what I predicted. It just like people were like, "Oh, how are you going to stop him? He's on fire." 30 points on Boston, and
It's like
he.
and
I mean, come on,
I
bro.
talk about this too much between my mentality with the stars and stuff, but it's like from all due respect, a role player like Tyler Hero, he's not going to do that every game of the NBA Finals. He's
He
not going
shot
to drop 30 every single game. It's just not happening.
he shot 6 for 18, 2 for 7 from 3-pointers.
Wasn't he even worse in game 1 too? Wasn't he like 3 for 16 or something? I know
Yeah,
game 1 was atrocious.
Yeah, he was awful. I mean, but he's out here mean mugging like he's the baddest dude. Like, don't worry, Lakers should smack him in this game. I'm pretty confident in that.
I'm not even a Laker fan, but I don't think he could really. I mean, he may have one of those nights where he hits 33. Jay Crowder had one. It happens.
No, Jay Crowder's different. I know Hero's the hot commodity right now. He's a new guy. But Crowder has proven that he could be a good player on playoff teams. I mean, he's been on several playoff teams already. So,
like, a Hero may have his good game this series. Well, watch, because of everything we said right now, he's probably going to do it tonight. Knowing our luck, watch. He's going to drop 40 tonight and then be laughing at us.
I don't think so. I mean, I think after mean mugging and making him think like he was the hot stuff, I'm sure the Lakers will shut it down today.
Yeah, but he had his few good games in the playoffs. There's only, and I know Jason Tatum's been an exception and stuff, but that's different because Tatum's a leader. Hero, there's only so many great playoff games he can really have, especially now that he's in the NBA Finals for the first time against the Lakers. And he's super young too. Jason Tatum's not even a rookie anymore, but. Yeah. So Tyler Hero there's only so much, unless if they're a number 1 pick or an absolute superstar that will be a superstar like a Morant. He's not going to score 30 in the NBA Finals. He may do it once or twice, but he's not.
He's not going to get it once, bro.
So here's one thing I was thinking about. I wanted to talk to you specifically about this, not just because you're my Laker bro, but you mentioned Anthony Davis not playing hard at the end of the season. Then you said he proved you wrong, all that stuff. He ended up being hard in the paint. He ended up being tough, all that stuff.
Yeah, he improved his play.
So even though last game his stats were good, he shot like 66%. He didn't shoot the ball once in the first quarter and didn't score a single point in the fourth quarter. Do you think that's more of the Heat's defense? Because you pointed out the Heat's defense. They changed everything. Even though Bam was out. It's not like their defense is better when Bam's out. They just made the proper adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Is this on AD, or is it Spoelstra's a mega genius, or a mixture of both?
So we got to start at the beginning. Spoelstra and his staff made the adjustments to their part. Good job, right? But then you got to give credit to Kelly Olynyk and Myers Leonard, 2 dudes who did not even really play that much in the previous series. But they step up when they have injuries, and they did a good job. I mean, Kelly Olynyk actually had a really impressive game. I think he came off the bench and scored 17 points.
That's crazy.
So you got to credit the staff and the players of Miami to step up, right? And then the change, it frustrated Anthony Davis. He was in a role. He was feeling in a role, and they threw an audible at him. And that was kind of on him to have a tough time getting adjusted to it. And then when you get yourself in foul trouble, it makes things even worse. You get taken out of the game. You lose your momentum, your rhythm. You're sitting on the bench for long periods of time. He sat most of the second quarter, and when you're sitting on the bench for so long, you get cold. So he fully never really found his rhythm. But for him to still shoot pretty well, I mean that's impressive. His mid range right now is pretty incredible. His mid range shooting is really good right now. I think unfortunately he's just gonna find a rhythm.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Because the Heat double teamed him, didn't allow him to find a rhythm. So it was the Heat system.
Yeah.
But personally, I think it's on both of them. Because here's where AD messed up, and I'm sure there wasn't that much more he could have done. But the Heat kept double teaming him, and normally you pass it out, find the open man, which I get. AD's not an elite passer, but he kept turning the ball over. Once he got double teamed, he either tried to shoot it, which would be no, he didn't even try to shoot it in the first quarter. He would just try to stand there and then either pass it, which would end up in a turnover, or just try to find a way to tough out of it. Like, that's not even attempting a shot, so I don't know how else to describe, but he tried to throw a couple shoulder bumps there, get the offensive fouls. So that's where, you can tell me if you agree or not, that's where I think Davis messed up.
He did. No, definitely.
And then he had the turnovers. It looked like they got under his skin a bit.
Yeah, they frustrated him. That's what happens when they throw a new game plan at you. You don't see it coming. It frustrates you, and if you don't figure out a solution quick, because the timing of the NBA is a lot more faster, right?
Yeah.
You're going to continue to get frustrated, and then next thing you know, you're getting getting in foul trouble, and you're out the game, and that's pretty much it. It is on him. He's going to need to figure out what to do when they double team him a lot faster. When he doesn't have that time to really operate, get himself in that ISO, and where he can choose to turn around mid range or something like that. You know what I mean? It is on him. It is on him.
I say it's on him too, because people are going to ask me this already. I already know. If I'm going to critique his game and then say he shouldn't be getting the fouls and turnovers, what else should he do? So my answer to that is just because LeBron was scoring. He got 25 points. He did his thing. He didn't have his best night. Nobody did. But just
they both made mistakes.
Play less of a role, because he had the ball a lot. I'm not saying don't give him the ball a lot because it draws the double, but I say utilize double more. Try your best to find the open man. I know that's hard because of Heat defense. Yeah, but ultimately, for me, other than avoiding turnovers and the fouls, just grab your boards, play elite defense, and do your thing. That's all I got to say. Because in the Game 7 between the Lakers and Celtics, they all played awful, but Kobe Bryant grabbed key rebounds.
Yeah.
And I don't care what people say, because nobody talks about rebounds much. That's basically the reason they won. There's a lot of other reasons. Arguable reasons that mean more than those. But grabbing those key rebounds, playing his role, and hustling, that just adds up. I know it tires out yourself. But you got 4 players around you. When one elite player cannot score and is hustling his butt off and is as big and as much of a threat as Davis, the defense is going to tire while the rest of the Lakers' 4 other players are going to come out. Sorry, I interrupted you 4 times. What were you saying?
No, you're 100% right. Yes, rebounding is very important. And, if the ball's not going to him, he should have a better effort of getting on the glass, right? Because heading into these games, he's had a low amount of rebounds, 2 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 5 rebounds. He needs to do a better job of that, and you're 100% right, especially if he's struggling and he's turning the ball over every time he touches it. Now, if I was a teammate, if you dish the ball to AD and he's getting immediately double teamed, what I would do is I would just cut. You got to move around, make the defenders move a little bit. That's the only thing you do. And the problem with the NBA right now is everyone's just thinking 3-pointer. Yeah. I've seen numerous times where you have all 5 players just lying around the 3-pointer and there's no movement.
Here's my thing. I'm sure the Heat prepared for the cut because they're super smart. And we watched the game. I'm sure they were pretty prepared, have some people in the paint. But if AD's getting double teamed, I know the open man isn't going to be LeBron. It's going to be their worst shooter. KCP, an inconsistent KCP. But you would think if there's a double team on the court anywhere, LeBron cuts, and there's no Bam Adebayo, it should result in more points than they had.
That's what I'm saying. I think they need to do a better job of moving around and cutting. There's times where they just get lazy. They just stand around the 3-point line. You're right. Sometimes Bron, he cuts and he gets a tomahawk jam. Other than that, though, I really only see Kuzma, Caruso, and KCP. Those are the only 3 guys I ever see really cut back door or something behind the rim, and they'll get easy layups doing that. And then, but the funny thing is Bron looks like the hero because he's the one that throws them the ball. Yeah, it was a good find, but those players, they're the ones that always decide, hey, I'm going to be different. I'm going to cut. to this underneath the basket and get an easy layup. You know what I mean?
Two-way streak. You need someone to pass it. You need someone to put it in.
The teammates need to move around more, and when you do that, it keeps the defense honest, on their toes, as opposed to just, hey, we're gonna double AD, frustrate him. But these guys are just gonna stand around the 3-point line. Turnover for us leads to more points. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we talked about Bam Adebayo earlier.
Yeah.
And we should provide an update.
Yes, we should.
He said he plans to play today. He said the same thing for Game 3. But my outlook on this is, if he was, because Spoelstra said he had to tell him near last minute he couldn't play, and it was the worst feeling in the world to tell him that. If he was last minute and that close to playing 2 days ago, I'd say he comes in today.
I feel like I think signs are pointing towards him playing today too, because the reason you said in the previous game he came really close to playing. Last minute took him out. This time you have 2 more days rest, and now the Heat are on the board. They got to win, right?
I'm shocked they won that, to be honest. And the commentators were too. They said it was an upset. I'm actually really shocked. I know they're such a great team, and we've been saying they're underrated, but no Bam or Dragic against AD and LeBron in the finals. I'm so shocked.
You know, when AD gets in when he got in foul trouble, I'm like, okay, this might be the Heat's day, you know. And Jimmy Butler, man, 40-point triple double. They had to get one, right? So
they did.
So I'm not surprised at all. I was watching. I'm like, all right, you know, they got to win.
Really,
the Lakers facing defeat, and now they're still up in the series. You know, it's not like they're on the backs against the wall. So
they're good.
They'll be fine. They'll be good. It's a fresh day. Those fouls don't roll over to the next game. So AD's back with a clean slate, and yeah, man. Like I said, I think the Lakers will do damage today, in Game 4.
Yeah. All they really need to change in their game plan is the sloppiness with the turnovers. That's it. Because it's what we both said. They didn't play really bad. It's just Jimmy Butler decided to become Michael Jordan for a night.
Hey, man. Yeah, true that. They need what they need to do. And honestly, rebounding wasn't even a problem because they actually had more rebounds than Miami in this game.
They did. It was just that AD only grabbed 5, from what I remember. It was him specifically that it was.
He grabbed a little bit. It was the fact that they had 20 turnovers to Miami's 13, and they just they need to figure out what adjustments they're going to make when Miami switches in between defenses throughout the game, and then when Jimmy does what Jimmy does, they need to say, "Hey, Bron, lock that up." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what they need to do.
Because, Jimmy's so competitive, and I'm sure LeBron does too. He's going to do it. If he's told, lock on LeBron, do this. Because I heard, and what was crazy to me, Spoelstra took him out for 3 minutes in the first quarter. And then the commentators and the sideline reporters, they said, he told Spoelstra, don't take me out, I'm fine. It's like that competitiveness is just insane. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, Spoelstra did end up taking him out, and then he's like, dude, I need you to play at least 45 minutes today. You got to get some rest somewhere. And I'm not saying LeBron James doesn't have that. He does. But what I'm saying is if Spoelstra goes, hey, Jimmy, lock down LeBron, he is on it. And I'm not going to say he's going to lock him down. It's LeBron James. But LeBron James got to do the same thing to him, which he will. It's LeBron James.
He will.
That's not what it looked like the other nights.
He did the same thing to Murray, right?
He'll do it.
He'll do
also,
it.
I didn't say Dragic. He's doubtful for tonight. I'm surprised. Apparently, according to Woj, he was practicing, trying to see if he could play. Yeah. This injury, they say you could play on it, but it's really risky. And the average recovery rate is 12 weeks. So it's hard to say. I'm not there. I don't know how he's feeling, but you can't risk that. It's like KD in the finals. You can't risk it.
It's very painful. What I've heard is described to every time you take a step or put pressure on your foot, it feels like a pin is like, a needle is being stuck through. So that's what it feels like. Or it feels like you're just walking on, on pins and needles, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously as a competitor, he wants to play. And it's the finals, man. Like you want to win it. You want to do it all for the championship. So like you said, we're not there. We don't know his pain, so it all depends on how hard is he willing to play through it. You know what I mean? Is it tolerable enough? I don't think he'll come back in the series still.
I don't. It's too risky.
Yeah, but yo, I mean, I think Bam might play, so we
I'll
shall
help him a lot.
we'll see.
It'll make it. It was already great competition because the Heat won, but with Bam, I really want to watch how the Heat defense. They made proper adjustments. There's no way they're better without Bam. They just made the proper adjustments at the right time after trailing 2-0. It was a coincidence Bam wasn't there for it. I want to see how it goes with Bam and how Vogel reacts to it. I'm really interested for tonight's game from a coaching aspect, even.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
One thing too, interesting fact before we move on from our finals preview. Jimmy Butler is the first player in finals history to outscore, out-rebound, and out-assist LeBron. So that's an interesting stat. I shouldn't have been too shocked by that, to be honest, but I found it pretty shocking. That Jimmy had a crazy game, though. I didn't even know he out-rebounded LeBron until I checked this box score today. I know it was close, but
yeah, it's not unusual. I mean, looking at who LeBron had to face in those finals matchups. I mean, this is before Westbrook was doing triple dubs every day too. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? This was a young.
Once you look at it deeper, it makes sense. But
yeah,
that just shows people how great Jimmy Butler is.
Yeah, he's a dog, man. He's exciting.
We went over this last episode 9. Check it out. Jimmy Butler is amazing. Moving on. You mentioned Kyle Kuzma earlier, saying how he tries to cut. He's good at that. He's been improving at his role. A lot of fans, I'm not going to use the S word and call them stupid, but a lot of fans who I don't think have the smartest sports take. Let me word it my nice way, because I'm a nice person. Try to be a nice person. Say he should not get a finals ring if they win. You know it's exaggerated. But I've been seeing those on, I think it was change.org, and it had so many signatures, and the media craps on him. I don't know where it came from, because I never thought he did that bad. But I just saw it on the internet the other day, and I was like, yo, there's no way this popular. Just some random Twitter troll. Then I think it had 400,000 signatures. I might be way off. Don't mark my words on that. And I'm like, what is this bullshit? Isaiah, what was your response when you saw it?
Yeah, I could not believe it, man. I mean, I've said it time and time again. For starters, yes, Kuzma sometimes makes mistakes, right? He struggles. I'm not the biggest fan of his off the court stuff, like hair blonde and his fashion, whatever. I don't really like it, but that's not important. What it mainly comes down to is what he does on the court, right? And yes, he makes some bonehead decisions sometimes, but everyone does. You know what I mean?
I know he shoots better, but have you seen KCP shot selection some nights? Just saying. Just saying.
I mean,
anyway.
Everyone messes up though, Like in the previous game, AD had 8 turnovers, Bron had 10. So I don't know. It's frustrating because Kuzma, his previous 2 seasons, he was like a light that showed a glimmer of hope for struggling teams, right? He was the only one who was able to really play consistent. Unfortunately, because Lonzo kept getting hurt, BI was hurt, and that roster was kind of depleted. He was the only one that really played consistently, and so he was a fan favorite. You know what I mean? The past year or two, he was so celebrated the way Caruso gets celebrated right now.
He was praised a lot. I think it's just that people had way too high expectations for him. And then LeBron win his team, and then now they're in the NBA Finals. So if you don't hit your expectations in one NBA Finals game, that very dedicated Laker fan base is going to shit on you. Not even just that, people are going to shit on you. I don't think people signing that petition are Laker fans. I really don't, actually.
Yeah, I feel like so a lot of people who signed it probably weren't Laker fans. And the people who were Laker fans, they were probably like maybe some bench warmer fan. I mean, some not bench warmer, bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
Or guys who are just ignorant and don't watch the game. I know a lot of those people. They say they're fans of a certain team, but they don't really watch the game. They don't really know the game. You know what I mean?
They just watch the finals once a year.
They might watch the game if it's on TV. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. There's a lot of ignorance in Lakers Nation, and it gives us a bad name. It's unfortunate. It's just very frustrating, man, because this season, Kuzma, his role was diminished. He had some injuries. And after all the ups and downs, he still was a third leading scorer on the team. Third leading scorer, it's usually not a big deal. But when you're following Bron and AD, who are two superstars in the league, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. When you have when you have other established names on the team, for him to be the third leading scorer, you wouldn't think he would be so hated upon. It doesn't make sense to me. Right. But you know what he did? He went out there and played his best game in arguably these playoffs for him. It's definitely his best game in the series.
Him and Markieff Morris were the ones that made this game even close.
He made the game close. So they both scored 19 points. Keith he made 5 3-pointers, which was the most of anybody in the whole game from both teams. And Kuzma was right behind him with 4 3-pointers. Kuzma did a lot in this game. Like I said, 19 points, his best performance of this playoffs for him. He just went out there and he said, "Forget it, man. I'm just gonna go out there and ball out." And I'm glad he did, man, because that's unfair for him. It's unfair, it's cruel, and it's just lame. Like for him to be criticized so unfairly.
What I really don't get, and again, maybe it's just because he had high expectations and other players had like no expectations at all. But out of any player on the Lakers, why Kuzma? You're not even biased, and I'm not even a Laker fan. He's nowhere near a bad player. He is solid to good.
That's what I don't understand. Right, you know?
So why not Jared Dudley? You know what I'm saying? Why Kyle Kuzma out of every player on the Lakers roster? It has to be because his expectations, right?
Solid point. I mean,
because Jared Dudley's on this team. JaVale hasn't played a minute since he got replaced by Dwight. I mean, he has probably like 5 minutes, and he can't. And like JaVale used to be roasted back in the day too. So,
but why Kyle? Right?
Right? I'm not saying roast JaVale instead. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's so random to me. Why him?
Hey, some things in the world do not make any sense, right? That's one of the things. After the game, when asked about it, I don't know if you saw his comments, but he said, in quote, "I really honestly don't care. I mean, you can either love or hate someone. It doesn't matter. I mean, y'all seen I dyed my hair blonde this year. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I mean, Twitter's for jokes. I laugh at jokes too, so it really doesn't affect me at all." And I hope he keeps the same attitude about it because, like I said, what did he do? He had his best performance, 19 points. You know, one of the reasons why the Lakers had it like came back and made it a close game. So, hey, man, like I said, it doesn't make sense to me at all. People are ridiculous sometimes.
It's the most random player for it to happen to as well. It really is.
No.
Because he actually does things for your team.
Yeah, it's honestly something that really irritated me. All season long, he's been getting it all season long. I did not understand. I don't know if you remember in previous shows we did, I talked about how I did not get how you could say stuff about him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it. Wanting to trade him, saying he's not doing anything for them no more. I feel like those people obviously aren't watching the games. You know what I mean?
They can't, because it's like you see, when you watch, you see he does his role. They probably just check the box score and they're like, he didn't score over 15 points when he has AD and LeBron on his team. I'm like, come on. So moving on to another talk. That was a good talk. I'm glad you agree with me, man, because I hate it. I hate how people be treating him.
Yeah.
Another LA team that people watching this podcast don't give a crap about and are happy they lost. The Clippers have lost Doc Rivers. They didn't lose him. They
let him go.
Mutual agreement.
They fired him.
So a lot of people were saying Doc to the Rockets as a rumor, but he went to Philly. No, they said D'Antoni to Philly. That's what that rumor was. And then Doc ends up going there. He was a free agent coach for like 72 hours.
It was a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Very quick.
So who Who do you target if you're the Clippers? Have you seen any rumors? Are they going with an assistant, or are they gonna? Because D'Antoni does not fit in that system. Don't do that.
I personally believe that the smart choice is just to have Tyronn Lue be the new head coach. It's the same system. The players all like him, enjoy him. And I mean, technically he does have a championship under his wing, right?
He does. The reason I said is like on paper, losing Doc Rivers for Tyronn Lue really doesn't sound good, but you never know, man. Doc Rivers just didn't work out. Doc Rivers on paper with Kawhi and Paul George should have made it past the second round, so never know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I really want to see is Sam Cassell step up.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Because he's been on that staff for quite some time. He's won a few championships as a player. Him and Lou are the two like top assistant coaches on that team. They're the ones that are always kind of with the players. You know what I mean? The most vocal on the bench. I feel like they were the ones that was doing the groundwork while Doc was the face, and now the face is gone. So those two are the ones who should get the chance to step up. I honestly want to see what Sam Cassell could do as the head coach. But I think everyone's pointing the finger at Ty Lue because he's the one who has that head coaching experience already. So I guess that's a smarter choice. I guess
what other choice do they have?
I mean, they could go out to someone else, but
someone who hasn't been given a shot, but
or like just
I like that.
I want to see Sam Cassell, but I think maybe the better thing is Ty Lue. Hey, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of players like Ty Lue, though. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them wanted to be there for that staff. They like Sam, they like Ty Lue, and they like Doc. They wanted to be there for that. Doc is not there no more, but they can still have one of those two guys running the show. It might convince them to still want to stay if they have the choice to leave or not.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the other teams go, so Houston needs a coach, right? Who else? Who else needs one?
I saw Houston was favored to bring up one of their assistant coaches, which is interesting. I forgot his name, but they said they were going to bring up a somebody that was part of their player developmental system. And what was funny, and this is just a meme, what was funny and so true, somebody commented, who have the Rockets developed?
True.
They're really right. So that's scary, but I've also seen Tyronn Lue, which was expected. Any coach is going to be rumored for a playoff team, to be honest. So I've seen Tyronn Lue. And who are you about to bring up? Sorry, I think I interrupted you again.
Well, I'm trying to think about who other teams have a vacancy spot right now, but I can't really think of any other teams at the moment.
New Orleans, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, New Orleans. New Orleans is in them and Houston, and I want to say the Knicks, unless they hire somebody, but I'm not 100% sure. I want to ask you though, because you're a Rockets fan. Mike D'Antoni, do you want to see him be on another team, or do you think it would be best if he takes a break a little bit?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I think he's talented enough to coach another team, because as much crap as I've given him and that he gets, and how I said he's never going to win a ring, his system's not made for that, he is still a really good coach. So some of these average teams could use him, not buy into the success and then stick with him for forever, but can use him to put their players on the map, give him some confidence. But at the same time, if you do that, and then he wins you regular seasons games, which he does really well, then you lose your draft pick. So who knows if it's really worth it, but I don't know if he'd fit in the system that much. But if you went to a team like the Pelicans, at this point, they're not going to get a good draft pick. They need a confidence booster. So I'd actually kind of like that. Like, coach mentality-wise, I don't know. But theoretically, he gets a good regular season record with them as he's done throughout his career. Other than with the Lakers. We don't talk about that. He gives them confidence, pushes them in the playoffs for the next 2 years, and once they become actual contenders, they got to get rid of him, which sounds like a stupid plan. You don't get rid of a coach 2 years after you just make the playoffs, boost your confidence, and change the system. Like, it's an oddball choice, but I seriously think that is smart. Get this team in the playoffs. Give them a good regular season so the players start to think. And I know they're supposed to think this anyways, but you know it actually helps them think confidently when they make it deep in the playoffs, or at least make the playoffs. Those Pelicans players, especially the young kids, will get some playoff experience and be like, okay, I like this. And then you know you're not going to win a finals with D'Antoni, so get rid of him. Find somebody else solid enough, because the talent should be developed enough at that point. To the point a solid coach will be enough. Do I think that's what they're going to do? I'd say no. But I'd honestly like to see it. I don't think he should take a break. He's as much crap as I give him again. He's too good. He's actually a good coach. He just can't win a ring. But he's a lot better than Boylan and Jason Kidd, and I say the same as Tyronn Lue, you know?
You mentioned New Orleans. The previous coach was Alvin Gentry, who I think is a really good coach, underrated coach. What would you think about him maybe going to the Clippers? Because actually, I wouldn't mind that.
It'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind it either. It's just, what's tough, and maybe he'll adjust with the Clippers. He seemed to have minute management problems. He had the wrong people in at the wrong times.
You know, that was a good point.
Zion, it was on Zion too. But some decisions he made, like Zion would go off, look like the second best player on their court other than Brandon Ingram. And then when he decided to rest him, he'd rest him at like the end of the fourth quarter when he was the one that would rally like a 15-point comeback. And then he'd get him in the bench like for the last 8 minutes of the fourth and not bring him back in. And some games it wasn't injury related. So minute struggles with the load management based team is really concerning. So I don't know if that's a good fit. I'd prefer Tyronn Lue or Cassell.
You're 100% right. 100%
it's not a terrible option for them. It really isn't.
You know, I think another coach who probably would be on the spectrum for several teams would be Lionel Hollins, a Lakers assistant coach. I think he would be in the mix, but I think the reason why he's not at the moment is because of him having to stay home for the coronavirus right now.
Oh yeah, he didn't go to the bubble, huh?
No, he's on the bubble, so he's still part of the team where he's involved in every single practice and film study. Just he's just looking at it from a screen. So he's still able to talk to the staff and the players, but as far as games go, that's where he's not in touch. He has to watch from home. But I think he's a really good coach as well, who probably would be in the mix a lot more if he wasn't worried about how long this might last. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see him getting a shot, though.
And also, another thing I want to talk about real quick, different topic here. But what do you think about this Jimmy Butler coffee business he's running?
Oh, my God. That's typically, I hate people that hustle. But just because it's Jimmy Butler, he gets a pass from me and he's a genius. And all those NBA players have a lot of money anyways.
Yeah.
This was kind of a joke, even though he actually did it. I loved it, man. That's funny.
I think it was more of a joke, and then it got more real once he got sponsorship to get branded like clothes and hats and whatnot.
Right. But like when you charge $20 a coffee, if somebody was like, "I'm not going to pay you that," I'm pretty sure he would have just gave it to them. Like I don't think he took it that seriously.
I don't know, man. He seems like a guy who would be like, "You don't want this? Oh, forget you. Then. Go wait in line at that one or whatever." Or,
actually, how competitive he is, he kind of does. Yeah. That's funny.
He definitely seems like that. I think it's funny, man. $20 for a coffee, that's crazy, right? I don't even drink coffee anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. But
if it's from Jimmy Butler, I'll pay for it.
Hey, I mean, you know what? Maybe I'll try it one time, just cause, But
Jimmy G buckets.
But yeah, it's a funny concept. It's funny how he decided to start doing it, and then he got some sponsorship from Lululemon. Lululemon, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. It's like the yoga pants company.
Yeah.
But it's funny how it's kind of catching more of a story now because they're in the finals. And then he did an interview after Game 3 with some of the NBA TV people, and Charles Barkley was one of them. And yeah, he was. It was funny. I don't know if you guys see the video. He's like, Jimmy, can I ask you a question? He goes, sure. And then he said, y'all really selling coffee for $20? And Jimmy didn't say anything. And he goes, that's not a question. Like you're telling me a statement. Like he's like, ask me. And so it was funny because they went back and forth, and it was a funny interview. But
he stood by that coffee business. He took it more seriously than I thought he did.
He did. He really did. I mean,
that's funny.
I mean, it's smart though. I mean, might as well. They could afford it. You know what I mean? And maybe they really need that coffee. And I don't know the business operation hours over there or where they're at, but maybe it's closed and they're out of luck. So they're gonna have to pay $20 for a coffee. I mean, if that was the case, I might as well get the large, right?
If you're spending 20, man.
If they're all the same price, I might as well get the large.
Right.
It's funny though. I guess smart on his part. What I wonder is where he got the idea to do it from.
Just like woke up one day, people are locked in this campus. $20 coffee, brilliant. Like, how does that fall in someone's head?
Hey,
that's hilarious, man.
Yeah, he had to think street smarts, I guess.
Hey, man, I respect it. So I'm gonna talk to the audience real quick before we get into our next topic. It's gonna be something fun that we haven't done before here. Something less serious. But before that, check out Franchise Sports Media on Twitter and Instagram at @TheFranchiseLV, capital TF and LV. And follow me and Isaiah on Instagram. Mine's Kyle Randolph FSM. What's your Instagram, Isaiah?
My Instagram is _Isaiah .Torres _ But just look up Isaiah Torres. That'll probably be easier.
Yeah, follow us. Hit us up. I love debating sports, and I'm sure Isaiah will gladly respond to your takes as well.
Hey, maybe.
Unless if it's crapping on Kyle Kuzma, don't do that. But also, FSM After Dark, 9:15 p.m. every single night. Uncensored takes on sports. My boy Kalani is there, who is one of the best podcast people I've ever heard in my life. I advise you guys to check it out. You won't regret it. So our next fun topic we're going to talk about shoes and music. So I'm a sneakerhead myself. I got the Nike app. Wake up at 7 a.m. for these releases. So one release I want to talk about, I'm going to show people to the screen right here. Kobe V Protros, 5 rings. It is releasing on October 15th. That's a Thursday.
Okay, so next week.
Look at those. Those are clean to me. I love those.
Yes, let's talk about it, man. I'm excited. I like that colorway a lot. I like that colorway more than the other 3 that came out the same week as Kobe week.
PJ Tucker, DeMar DeRozan, right? No, those were after.
Well, those ones too. I actually like that one more. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the colors. I mean, it's definitely colors, but it's the graphic. I'm a fan of that one. I'm excited for that one. Are you gonna wake up to try to get those?
Oh, for sure. Only problem is I don't think I'll get them. The only shoe dub I got where I successfully got it was what were they called? They were dunks. They were based on college colorways. So it was the Michigan State dunks. So those were not. That's the only dub I've ever taken. So we also got. Sorry, what?
How much are those Kobe's going for again?
They are, I believe, 180.
180. All right.
It's well worth it. So we also got on October 14th, Wednesday, 7 a.m. These are women's shoes. Don't judge a guy for wearing women's shoes, though. These are clean to me, man. I might get a bigger size and cop them.
Those are called Lucky Green. That's funny. They kind of have like a Heineken colorway. It looks. I don't know why. It looks like a Heineken to me. No, it's cool. That was probably not for me, but I mean, you know what? If I like those. If I had money to blow, I would cop those, and then I would wear it with like a black shirt, and then my hat would be I have the Mexico national baseball team hat from the World Baseball Classic. I probably wear with those. But no, I mean, hey, those. And you know what? I used to think that's crazy. What woman's like you're gonna get a woman's shoe? Asking a guy that, but some women's shoes, like exclusive women's shoes, the colorways are nice, man. And
why they gotta be why any shoe gotta be exclusive, man? That's all I'm gonna say. Not my fault.
Unfair, right? It's unfair.
And lastly, October 10th. I'm going backwards on dates here. I went from the 17th to the 10th. Jordan 3, Saturday, 7 a.m. Check these out.
Yes, those are the shoes that I wanna. Those are the shoes that I want to talk about too. Where's my screen? Yeah, see, I was looking at them too.
So yeah, hit me up about sneakers, fans, by the way, on Instagram too. Love those. That's a part of basketball.
Let's talk about sneakers and hats, man. I can talk about that stuff too, man. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these cement threes. I might try to wake up early on Saturday to get these ones. I might if I remember to. But
I'll remind you.
Yes, I'm excited about these ones. The last time I tried to get threes was Black Friday 2017, I think. There were the Jordan 3s, cool blue. And I wanted to get them so bad. That same day, I had to wake up early and get a new phone, though.
Oh.
And at the store, they took forever. I had a friend who worked at Champ Sports at the mall, the local mall. And what happened was that they took forever to get my phone, right? And I know this is going to get looked down right now, but at the time, I was getting a really good deal to switch from Apple to Galaxy. So I tried it. I got like the new Galaxy 5 or something like that. And it came with a free like VR too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they gave me like 2 things for one. So I was like, I'll take the deal. So we did that. It took a long time. I was like, man, there's no way that any shoes are going to be left by now. And then, so that was it. I'm like, damn, I took the loss on the True Blues. And then I was like, I guess
make up for it now.
I guess it is what it is. But check this. That's not even the end of the story.
Ooh.
2 months later, New Year's Eve, because I came back to California because at the time I was living most of the time in Vegas, and then I went back for the holidays in California. I hit on my friend. She was having a little like kickback for New Year's Eve, right? At her place. I meet up with her, and she's like, Isaiah, what happened to you, man? I'm like, what you mean? She goes, I thought you really wanted those True Blues. I was like, I did. And she goes, you never texted me back. And I was like, what do you mean? And she showed me the text. She had texted me like around like noonish or 1 p.m. on Black Friday saying, hey, we got a pair or 2 in your size. I can hold it for you if you want. I never got the message because somewhere along the line of my phone switching from Apple to Android, it must have sent as an iMessage, but I didn't have an iPhone no more, so I never got the message. And I was like, you're lying. She showed me the message, and I was like, wow. And she's like, I guess he doesn't want the shoes then, because she never got a response from me because I never got the message. So I that was sad. I found out like 2 months later I could have had the shoes still.
That's so tragic, man.
I was like, I remember I thought I was like, I guess it really wasn't meant to be.
Why'd she have to tell you that? You should have been like, no, what text? She should have just went, no, never mind, nothing.
Yeah, but I appreciate it though because she was holding those shoes for me.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Shout out to Sabrina. But nah, man, that was the last time I tried to get threes, and it was on Black Friday. So hey, man, I might get these. I mean, these are pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. My favorite color is blue, so
go for it, man.
We'll see. I am excited for these ones. I am excited.
No harm in going for it.
But yeah,
if money goes low or like the shoe's not comfortable or something, Nike has a pretty good return policy as well. So
the only thing I don't like about this is like the app. You know what I mean? Like, because it makes everyone kind of like have a little panic attack. They gotta wake up early. They gotta go through it, and then and now you gotta do with technology and all. Like, I wish you still got to go to the store to get stuff like that.
I want to do I talked to my brother the other day, who's more of a sneakerhead than me. I was like, yo, they ever have like shoe releases in stores? I want to wake up at 7 or like 6 o'clock for a 7 o'clock release, get some IHOP with my friends, and then go to a Nike store. And he's like, nah, those don't exist anymore. I'm like, What? That's so fun
Yeah,
though.
it's sad, man. It's sad. Those were the days, man. Those were the days of really hunting for the shoes. You know.
Uh,
Uh, what do you call? I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say about that. But no, I just wanted to share that little story about how
I liked it.
tragically did not get the True Blue threes. But
Tragic
it,
ending.
it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
So I have my time to shine. I've been talking a lot. I got my segment of interest. Time to give Isaiah his. I'm
No,
not into music so much, but he is. What were you about to
yeah,
say?
man. No, man. I'm glad we talked about the shoes, bro. Because the shoe culture is very integral into basketball culture as well.
It's part of basketball, especially those Kobe's on a Laker pod. It's part of it.
Oh, we're talking about Kobe's and J's, man. That's very important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very.
So yeah, I'm glad we talk about the shoes. Hats. There's a lot of dope hats out there, but they don't drop like infamously like shoes do. You know?
I have a snapback collection of at least like 15 snapbacks, but I don't really like see releases, and I'm not that much into it.
Yeah, no, man, but that's something that I wouldn't mind talking about too as well. But I'm a music guy too. I'm really into you know, what we call it, rap, hip hop, R&B, and stuff. This past weekend was huge because Bryson Tiller. I don't know how much you know about any of this, Kyle, but
I've heard his name.
Bryson Tiller, 5 years ago, 2015, he emerged out of nowhere with Trap Soul. You know, where it was like a combination of like trap like drums, but with R&B soul music. Pioneered, man. The dude just blew up on the scene with songs like "Don't" and "Exchange," "Sorry Not Sorry," and he became a hot commodity, man. Super popular. And then he came out with his second album. It was called, man, I'm blanking right now. But he came out with a second album in like 2017, and it wasn't as like a lot of people didn't like it as much as Trap Soul because they had a different kind of sound to it. And he even said that going back, he was kind of going through insecurities, like in life and with the music. So he looking back, he felt like he really didn't like the album too much. It was called True to Self, and that was 2017. We're in late 2020 right now. As much as it's hard to believe, we're in October 2020. So for 3 years, he teased, "Oh, I'm gonna drop something. I'm not gonna drop something. Like, I'm gonna drop something." He kept teasing, "Coming soon, coming soon." Finally, he got real serious, released some new music, and then he said, "New album coming soon." And he had like, what he did is he released 3 songs that were from 2015, but they were never on streaming platforms. They were like on SoundCloud, like you had to like find it on YouTube or something. And he kind of put them on the deluxe version of Trap Soul from 2015. And then he said, "I'm going to drop my new album called Anniversary on the 5-year anniversary of Trap Soul." So it's cool. It's similar to Trap Soul. It's not as good because Trap Soul is a classic, right? But check it out if you're into that. Anniversary, Bryson Tiller, great album. I enjoyed it a lot. Probably my favorite song on there is the one he has with Drake. Those two did a collab. Probably, like I said, my favorite song on it is called "Out of Time." And the funny thing is, he says that he's not done this year. He might drop something in the winter. So we'll look for that. And then the other big album that came out this weekend was 21 Savage and Metro Boomin. In 2016, they came out with Savage Mode, their collab EP, and it kind of put Savage on the map. And after that, their careers took off. 4 years later, Savage Mode 2, they did a sequel. Good album. Metro Boomin, his beats are crazy. 21 Savage has only improved since he came up in the rap game, getting better with each album. And the best thing about this album is they got Morgan Freeman to do the intro and interludes in the album. They did a like a trailer, like a kind of like a little movie trailer for the album on YouTube a few days before the album came out, and it was pretty good. And Morgan Freeman's like narrating the whole thing, and then they have him do the intro, they have him do some interludes, and then he does the outro, and it kind of puts like a whole cinema-esque.
It's Morgan Freeman, man, of course.
Yeah, man. So it's a good album, man. Everyone should check that one out as well. This weekend coming up, he's a lot less known, but his name is Reason. He's a rapper from from the LA area. From he's part of TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, which is the same company that has Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, and those guys. So his second album coming out this weekend is called New Beginnings. So yeah, man. If y'all like that type of music, check it out. And if you have any suggestions or want to talk about music, I'm down to talk about that too.
But, awesome. I want to get more into music, so I'm gonna hit you up more about that.
Yeah.
So to end this show for tonight, the bubble is coming to an end. Hopefully for forever, so we don't need to go back in a bubble again.
Yeah.
But this bubble did bring some good things. We talked a bit about it earlier. Jimmy Butler. So Isaiah and I, for the last 5 minutes, we're going to talk about our favorite bubble memories. And I have 3 in my mind right now.
Okay.
Mine, Jimmy. Okay, 4, because Jimmy Butler counts. Devin Booker going off. That was crazy. I'm sad they didn't make it. I wanted Portland to make it over them, but it's still sad to see that. Got Russell Westbrook, which was reported today. Russell Westbrook, because I just love feel-good stories. He left, I believe it was an $8,000 tip.
Oh, I just read that.
Yeah, I read it right before the podcast. For the hotel staff, he said they took the time and energy to do their job at a high level. That was the right thing to do. I like to do the right thing. So that's respect. Say whatever you will about him getting heated on courts, stuff like that. That was very respectful. I like feel-good stories.
Hey, you could be a great guy out there in the world, but when you're in between those lines, you got to be a dog, right? Like that's the same thing Kobe did. So, yeah, man, I love Westbrook, man. That's awesome.
Right. Third thing was Matisse Thybulle's vlogs. Check those out. They were amazing. Him and JaVale's were great. And my last favorite thing is just a funny joke. Dion Waiters calling himself Bubble Cheese.
Bubble Cheese.
That was great. So those are mine. Isaiah, what you got from the bubble?
Yeah, well, so the bubble provided something that was different, right? Something we never really seen before. I'm really glad that the guys brought it amongst themselves to vlog it. I believe Thibault was the first one to really get the national attention for doing it.
He edits those himself too, so that was very impressive.
Yeah, that is cool. So I did watch his. I did watch JaVale McGee's a lot too. I obviously enjoyed that one more because he was a Laker player.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoyed Troy Daniels as well.
I heard about it
because he formerly was on the Lakers and now he's with Denver, another team that was exciting, right? The Lakers faced in the conference finals. His was funny too. I think if I had to pick which one was my favorite, probably McGee's, because they provided like a more comical feel for
they
it.
were good.
Like McGee, it gave me a chance to really see how he is too. He's a jokester, he's funny every single day. He had some fun with the training staff for the Lakers. And they kind of became little celebrities on the show where they weren't part of one episode, and all the comments were, "Hey man, where's Nina? Where's the other lady?"
I do remember that.
So it was funny, and one of my favorite scenes is when they're giving him the shock therapy on his knee, and he's damn near in tears, saying how he already hates it, and he's just he's screaming and whatnot. It was funny, but Troy Daniels is really funny as well. He's just funny, man. He likes to he's one of those guys who spends some time on different teams, so he knows a lot of people. So there's times where he's with his Nuggets teammates, MPJ, Jamal Murray, and then there's times where he's hanging out with some dude who's on the staff for the Pelicans, and then he's there hanging out with Kuzma, right? Because they were teammates earlier this season. So that one gave a feel of him interacting with various people on different teams. So that one was a cool one.
They were all fun.
They were fun,
with Matisse. I like seeing stupid things like that. Like my brother roasts me. He's like, "What's the point?" But seeing what they were provided with from the NBA and simply the snacks they had in their room. I was interested in that. One episode, Matisse Thybulle didn't get a fork.
Yeah,
he didn't get a fork, so he had to call Rooster. I like things like that. After he looked over all his snacks, showed us the hotel room. I know I could look it up on Google Images. It was the Grand Floridian. But it brings a different feel. The NBA bubble, it's knock on wood, not going to happen again. So I want to see how it went. He got shipped a mini fridge too, if you saw that.
Because it was unprecedented. That's why it was entertainment. You know what I mean? Because everyone wanted to know what it was like. and they gave us a really good inside look at it. But if we're gonna talk moments, I mean, from a I think regular season standpoint, if we're gonna talk moments, it's got to be Devin Booker's buzzer beater over the Clippers.
Yeah,
and just him like knocking down the shot, laying down, kind of looking. You know what I mean? Like it was just an iconic shot. You know what I mean? That was a good moment. But what he did, him in Phoenix and his teammates did, it was a good run for them. The Lakers play against Phoenix in their division. They usually battle. When they're both really good, they battle it out, right? You're not really supposed to root for Phoenix as a Lakers fan. But I hope I hope the future does look bright for them because they've been kind of bad for too long. Devin Booker has some help with him right now. I mean, I'm trying to think of the dudes. Kelly Oubre's talented player. Doran Saric, she's a good player.
I'm trying
to
think from Philly, right?
Yeah, he was brought in trade from Philly
because Philly wanted to get rid of all their shooters for some reason.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges is steadily improving, and then for the first time in a long time, they finally got a good coach in Monty Williams. So I think the future is bright for them. I'm hoping they could build off this and take it to the next season, whenever that does start. Hopefully, as soon as January, I guess. But that was a good moment. Everything that Lillard did was incredible. I mean, CJ was nice too. Like the same thing. The team played good. They had some guys coming back, and Zach Collins and Nurkic, right? But when Lillard did some incredible things. So that was good. That was good for him to say. Honestly, I counted him out too from the jump. He said, "Oh, we're gonna come. I'm not only coming for a few weeks. Like I want to make sure we're in this thing." And he did whatever it took to get there. You know what I mean? And he even got that first win against the Lakers. But if I had to be honest with you, I'm hoping my favorite moment hasn't happened yet, and that will be a Lakers celebration.
That's true, man. That's going to be the best thing the bubble brings to you. I mean, it could have happened outside the bubble, and none of us wished this would happen at all. But again, some good things to enjoy. And
I got to ask you, Kyle, real quick. So I read an article a few days ago, Uninterrupted on ESPN's kind of partnership, website. They did an interview with Phil Handy, who's assistant coach with the Lakers. He's done some time. He was coaching. He was assistant coach on the Lakers staff during Kobe's seasons in 2013. So he got to coach Kobe, almost a decade ago. And then previously he was with the Warriors. So he got some rings on that staff. And then last season he was on Toronto, won a ring with them, and now he's on the Lakers. So this is actually his 6th straight trip to the finals as a coach.
Oh my! That's a great fact to end this podcast, man. That's crazy.
They interviewed him, and so he also has an app where he tries to do a tip every day to ball players, coaches. I think it's called 94 feet something. So he has an app too that you could download, and he was talking about his career so far, 6 straight finals, the app. They asked him, if the Lakers win, what do you think it's going to be like in LA? And he kind of had this response like, shit, you think there's not going to be a parade? This city's been hungry, man. Like, there's no way that you can't tell them no. There's going to be a celebration, man.
There will be somehow. Are they doing watch parties in the Staples Center or no? I saw some sports teams were doing that. Either way, though, they're probably on those streets crowded around it. It sounds stupid, but here in Vegas, and our fans are not as passionate as LA Laker fans, even though we got some good fans. Even if it's a road game, we have a bunch of Raider fans outside Allegiant Stadium just cause. Even if it's a road game, they're just standing there rallying like there's a game going on.
Hey, man, Raider fans is a different level, man.
I can't imagine, though. The Lakers in the NBA Finals for the first time in a while. That stadium is probably full of people outside it right now. I can't. There's going to be a parade, if that's your question.
That's my question, man. That's my question because
it's happening.
Because in Tampa Bay, they had a parade for their hockey team. But that thing is, that's Florida, right? Like things are open over there. California is different, a lot different. They still have a lot of things locked down. I mean, you can't even eat inside a restaurant still. You can only eat at a restaurant if it's outdoors.
Yeah, I just think the fans are so passionate it will happen.
Well, I'm thinking is I hope it does, because if they do, I'm moving. I'm leaving. I'm going to be at the parade.
You're going to go?
I'm going to go because 10 years ago, I was still in elementary school. When the Lakers had their parades, 09 and 2010, I couldn't go because I was in school, and it sucked. It was sad because I didn't know it was going to take me another 10 years for another opportunity. And Kobe being gone add another layer to it, because it made me look at life a lot more seriously. Like death really could happen at any moment. So I'm like, man, dude, if my team win the championship, dude, I got to go to this parade, man. I got to go. I'm wondering, what's your opinion? Do you think they will have one or not? But you're saying, do you think they will?
Oh, they will. Yeah. Those fans are too passionate not to. They're going to celebrate somehow. Maybe not a full-blown parade, but they're going to celebrate somehow. And it'll be a fun experience.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for something where people can still go. You know, everyone will be masked out. You know, like I'm not going to be dumb about it. I'm going to have a mask.
Wear your mask, do your thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
always, people. Always.
But yeah, I just want to, ask you that question before
Great way to end the podcast. Talk about what happened if y'all win. I like it. So that's my take on it. Parade's going to happen. Thank you guys for tuning into the 70213 Lakers podcast. Bubbles brought us some good memories. Not over yet, though. We still got a few games left. Lakers will play tip-offs at 6 p.m. Hit me up on Instagram when you're watching the game. Hit up Isaiah as well. We'll most likely respond while we're watching. Have a good one.